going on, football fans, and welcome back to another episode of Breaking the Birds. Now we're going to take a look at Landon Dickerson in his first start in the NFL. Had some ups and downs against the 49ers in last week's game. And coming out of this one, I was already a little bit disappointed. And, you saw him give up the sack on the broadcast stream in that 7-man protection scheme. He had a illegal man downfield penalty, so wasn't really feeling great going into it. But so many other times, you just learn a lot more when you go through the tape, and that's exactly what we're going to do. On play action here, gets a push on the two technique defensive tackle here from Jason Kelce initially. And then what I'd like him to do here is, while the defensive tackle has lost his momentum with the Jason Kelce push, then Dickerson gets his hands on him and has him in a tight position. And then as soon as he tries to do whatever, he's in a good base with full control of him, and then he can shuffle his feet in regards to what relative to what the defensive tackle does here. Now, what he does instead is he initiates contact after the defensive tackle has sort of regained his balance here. See here, he's regained balance, and then he's trying to get his hands on him here, and he overextends a little bit in his upper body, and so he gets tossed a little bit upfield and loses balance there at the end. RPO, basically working this as if it was inside zone. So he's going to work in combination with Lane Johnson. First up on 95 here. Good initial engage on him. And then as he's getting pushed to the right side of Dickerson, he has the responsibility of getting up there for the second level to the linebacker, up to Landon Van Der Esch here. And he's in a good position. Landon Van Der Esch notices late that Miles Sanders could have the ball, and he actually reads it as if Miles has the ball here. And so a good push here from Landon, and getting the engage on the two-tech defensive tackle without getting tangled too much up onto him. So he's in position to seal off Van Der Esch to the inside. And actually, if you take a look at it here from the wide view, look at the angle that Miles Sanders would have on this play. And you could argue with the defensive end here stalling and not going for Miles Sanders immediately that you should give this ball off. Look at this lane he has right here. Perfectly sealed off with Jason Kelce and Landon Dickerson. In pass protection, solo pass protection against 97 here. Initially good punch. Replace the hands as the defensive tackle is coming out. As he's working upfield here, get your hands on him and then drive him upfield right there. The only thing that I would like him to do maybe a little bit more is when the defensive tackle commits upfield and to the left of Dickerson right here, to our left, that he gets his hands on him as he does here and then keeps driving him upfield. So he sort of releases him a little bit there at the end. It works. I mean, it doesn't become a mistake, but by driving him upfield like that, you have him in control, and you can dictate what happens on the play. Pass protection here at the own goal line against 97. Good basis as he's taking on 97 here. Good punch there initially, works his feet well. He does not get pushed back. Also gets a little help from Kelce there at the end. Would like him to be a little bit more snappy here. He doesn't have anyone in his face. The two tech is going to stunt inside here to Jason Kelce immediately. So what I'd like him to do at that point is punch and go. And so what I mean by that is you punch the two tech as he's coming inside here. So he's driven off to Kelce. And then you look outside. It becomes a little bit slow here because Lane actually has a little bit of trouble with Randy Gregory on this play. And Randy is going inside, so it's a perfect position for Landon Dickerson to come in there and help Lane Johnson there if it would just be a little bit faster. He may not have been able to get there, but just the fact that you want that to be a snap read. You want it to be, all right, inside, punch, look out. Immediately after, look outside. So you can help your tackle out while also making sure that you passed on the defensive tackle to the center accordingly. So this is very good to see. This is the very next play, and here you have a perfect example of it. We're sliding a little bit to the right side. We have the running back coming up in the middle in pass protection, and so the first guy that Landon is going to help out here is Lane Johnson to the outside. And look at how snap his reaction is here from the first punch on 93 until he looks in for Jalen Smith. Right after, punch, look inside. And then because in this way, he doesn't have a primary guy, but he is helping out both Lane and Jason in having full control of their guys here and creating a good pocket for Jalen Hurts. That he just steps up into pressure is what it is. But this is exactly what I was talking about. Snap reaction there, and keep working to help your guys out, sorting out the pressure. So even though Landon is a rookie and has a lot to learn, getting his feet wet in the NFL, there are some plays that just stand out where you can see this big man, industrial fridge size guy toss around people. This is a running back screen here. Running back is going to swing out. So the first thing here for Landon he wants to do is just delay the 3-tech defensive tackle a little bit and then get out there as a lead blocker. So he gives him that little push into the ground and then gets out in the open field and seals off the first guy he can find to the inside here. So that's a fine job, and keep looking for work, and a good shove there to begin with. This is such an incredibly frustrating play because it's set up so nicely. It's a QB power read, and Jalen Hurts is going to key on Randy Gregory out here to the outside. You're going to have two guys pulling, and you have the zone concept to the right side. So you have two options here. Give it to Miles Sanders if Gregory is just shooting up for Jalen Hurts. If he isn't, then you take the ball yourself and you follow your lead blockers to the outside. And that is Landon Dickerson and Lane Johnson. And the numbers match so incredibly well here. Dickerson kicks out Micah Parsons, and Lane Johnson comes up and lead blocks on Leighton Vander Esch. The problem is that Landon slips on Mailata's feet when he's coming out. See, he got his feet tangled up, and so he's in a terrible position to make this block. And it's so fucking frustrating because you see the lane that would have been right here. Lane Johnson coming out. Imagine Landon Dickerson smacking Micah Parsons. We know he can do that. He has the size on him. And if he doesn't trip at that point, smack Micah Parsons, and then you have Lane Johnson as the lead blocker out there on Leighton Vander Esch. Take a look at it here from the wide view. And you'll see the cornerbacks getting cleared here by the two receivers to that side. Leighton Vander Esch is the only one here who is a threat to the play other than the safety. So that is so frustrating. In pass protection here, good job keeping a lookout, keeping your eyes up and finding work here. Nothing threatening his gaps. So he's going to look inside here. Jason Kelsey, who has a little bit of trouble with an outside stunting 97. Not sure who it is. But he takes over well there. See, he gets a good engage up on Jason Kelsey. Landon Dickerson takes over. Again, not quite sure why Jalen Hurts feels the need to get out the pocket here. Andre Dillard has Randy Gregory nicely here. He's working him upfield. Everything is sorted there in the middle. Maybe we'll get a better idea here as well from the wide view. So that's a fine pocket. You can work with that pocket. Nothing's moving there up front. So good job by Dickerson working in combination with Kelsey. On one of the very few run plays from Sanders in this game, we have a split zone to the right side here on this play. So Landon Dickerson will be working in combination with Lane Johnson on the 3-tech defensive tackle here initially, taking him on well, and then as he remains to the right side of Landon, he has the responsibility of the first guy to the left of him, which is on the second level here, and that is Leighton Vander Esch. A beautiful block on him, and the combination here from Lane Johnson and Landon Dickerson springs this run free. Very good job by both of them here. First on the defensive tackle, then on the the block here in Leighton Vander Esch. And I believe it's Jack Stahl coming in here and putting a good block on the defensive end to spring Sanders free. Bonkers job here by the line, and once again really re-emphasizes the mind-blowingness of not running the ball more. Inside stunt here for Cowboys on the defensive tackles, where they're looping a little bit inside here. For Landon Dickerson does a good job of passing on his 3-tech defensive tackle inside and then picking up the one coming from the other side. And so while Kelsey gets pushed back a little bit there initially from the guy in the 3-tech right here who has a little bit of momentum coming in there, the pocket holds up well. Kelsey does a good job here of not drawing the holding, but just getting his guy down. And so he has him in control at that point, and you actually have a pocket you can step up into and then survey down the field. Maybe see Devontae Smith coming over the middle there. Zone left, and notice how Dickerson initially doesn't have anyone here to his left side. So the first key for him would be to give the right shoulder to the 3-tech and then move up to the second level. But this guy is stunting inwards. They have an inside stunt on the entire offensive line here, and so he does a good job here just carrying him to the left side here. Good push on him Lane Johnson does a good job getting up to the second level instead of him, because now he doesn't have anyone. Unfortunately, the defensive end crashes inside of Jack Stoll, so Sanders has to take a little step outside before he's cutting back up, and that limits the play for 3 yards. Otherwise, good scheme. Pass protection here, sliding to the right side. A really good job here initially, having a hand on Jalen Smith, working there with Jason Kelsey, and as soon as he sees 2 guys commit to the rush here, he has good hands on Micah Parsons, who is to the outside. Give him that push. The first to transition between noticing when you have to get in your solo block and when you have to help. So there initially, fine job having your arm out there for Jalen, and then good engage up on Micah Parsons when he commits. RPO. So the offensive line will block this as if it was a split zone to right side. Nobody even close to Landon Dickerson here. So the first guy of him will be Leighton Vander Esch, because Jalen Smith splits him in half. So he has one half of him to one side here, right across of him, and his first step isn't going to be overriding with Landon Dickerson. So his job is just to get up there and punch Leighton Vander Esch in the mouth. Puts a really good block on him, and they decide to throw it anyway. 7-man protection scheme here, where the wing and the tight end to the left side are going to be in pass protection here, taking out defensive end Micah Parsons. Landon Dickerson will be alone. Lane Johnson will be alone. You have a double team in the middle, and then you have Andre Dillard alone on the block as well. Dickerson gives up the sack on this play to the 3-tech defensive tackle here. I like the idea that he does. Remember on one of the earlier reps, talked about how when the defensive tackle who is lined up to the outside of you, when he's going upfield, plant your hands on his shoulder and then drive him upfield. Take him to where he wants to go, but drive him upfield so you're in control of the rep and where he goes, because that way he won't counter you, and you will be in a good position to just power him upfield. And then it's the job of the quarterback to step up into the pocket. So on this play, the first engage, it's okay. The first punch is what it is. At this point, he has his hands on him. That's a fine position. That's what you want. Drive him outside and then upfield. But he sort of punches him instead of driving him. And that allows the defensive tackle here to gain a little bit of momentum going upfield, because now he's dictating the play. He wants to go inside, and when you're pushing him, you allow him to get the rip, and that makes it harder to drive him. That said, we're 7 yards downfield here. Yeah. The only thing I'm thinking about when I'm watching this play is when you would like your quarterback to step up into the pocket. No doubt that Landon has to do a better job of getting his hands on the defensive tackle and driving upfield, like we just talked about. But also, your quarterback can help you out a lot by stepping up into the pocket a little bit earlier. I'm not quite sure. I can't blame this one on Hurts, obviously, but he can help his offensive line out a little bit on this play. So that's a theme that's got to get better. Solo blocking pass protection on the 3-tech defensive tackle. Fine job here. This is where he gets his hands placed. He's in balance, and then when he's trying to go upfield, you can sort of drive him upfield instead of having to do these punches. Okay, rep here. 3-tech trying to go on a bull rush here on Landon. Initial punch is okay. Get his hands placed on him very nicely here, and then just work your feet. Keep shuffling, and basically has him standing still there at the end. Gets driven back a little bit, but no momentum from the defensive tackle. He has him in a lockjam position where he wants to have him, and seems in control. Setting up the wide receiver screens here to both sides, and Landon Dickerson, like we saw in the earlier clip, is just trying to delay the defensive tackle here, who's going to rush up and then get out in open space, and that is Micah Parsons. Good punch he just. I mean, he is a strong man. We know that. Good punch here, and then getting out in open field afterwards. Boom. Get out there. Good block on this rep on 97, who's lined up in a one technique here in between Kelsey and Landon. And Kelsey's going to slide out to the left side. Good punch there initially by Landon with his one arm. Then replace the other one right at his shoulder. Keep driving him there. Has some full control on 97. Works well with Lane Johnson here. Taking in the wide view because they shoot away to the screen side very quickly. So Lane and Landon are working good combination here with the two guys bull rushing there to the outside. Landon gets his dude on the ground. Gregory just gives up when he sees it's a screen. Decent job here on the tick game where the inside guy will be going out, and you have a stunt from the outside here going in. And that is Randy Gregory coming out. So he does a good job here passing on Micah Parsons initially, and then taking on Randy Gregory just coming in. The only thing you can knock on this is his footwork could be a little bit more clean, a little bit more crisp. So when he's tossing Micah Parsons out there to Lane Johnson to begin with, he doesn't deliver all his power and doesn't overextend in his upper body, because that leaves his lower body a little bit more out of balance. So to just punch him, be in good control, so you can take on the guy coming in, because he's sort of shooting himself into the block there on Randy. And thankfully, Randy Gregory is also in a little bit of unbalance. This is coming in, so it doesn't result in anything, but that could have been a little bit better. On a slide right, and that means that the first step here for Landon will be going outside and taking on a punch on Micah Parsons, and then looking out immediately after. And Jason Kelsey is a little bit late to get over there and assist on Micah, so he actually split the two of them, and that is more on Kelsey. You want him to get out there quicker to help Landon Dickerson out. The perfect way here would be the punch from Landon, and then Jason Kelsey comes in there immediately and takes over him, so Landon can go out there and also help out with Lane. Solo block here against 97, and he's trying to get to the edge there once again. So initially, he has a good hold of him. He's in a good base right here. He wants to push him outside, and that's okay. You can do that, but then you have to get your hands on him once again, so you have him in control and where you can drive him down, because he keeps going to the edge. So just take him where he wants to go. Get all the way to the edge. No problem with that. And at that point, you also know that Micah Parsons isn't coming back in on a stunt, because if you overcommit to getting him upfield, that's why the first punch is fine. First punch, good, because now you can see if Micah is going to be stunting inside, so you can pick him up instead of just initially getting your hands on and then driving him upfield, because then Lane would have a tough time catching up on Micah Parsons if he were to stunt inwards. We see exactly that here where Micah Parsons is going on a tick game. So he's going outside, and then the outside guy will be looping inwards afterwards. See, he gets the punch there to Micah, and then good control as he's picking up 59 coming inside. Good rep here. First passing on 99 outside, getting a hand on the outside guy coming in, helping out Kelsey with him, and then another good block there, helping out Lane at the end there. So that was a good job of taking away as much momentum as possible of the guys who are stunting, and then helping out your teammates, taking away their momentum, having them more in control. Best play of the day here for Dickerson, and basically just like watching him play at Alabama again. First, assisting Jason Kelsey up on 99 here. Good punch on him to get him down. And then seeing out there with Lane Johnson coming out and helping him as well. And the result of that block, it looks way better in the wide view. Good punch there. Boom. So in conclusion, after watching all that, I think we got a lot wiser on some of the things here from Dickerson. Now, obviously, there are some things to work on, as we talked about throughout the video, especially the thing when the defensive end or defensive tackle are going upfield. It's okay to punch him, but then you also want to drive him upfield so he doesn't get that separation at the top of his rush, and then can go inside. So that's the thing you need to work on, but that is very correctable. I think he did a very good job when he was in the RPO and in the run game of working with Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey in terms of moving people. That is what he does. That is what he's really good at. And we saw that strength pop off a few times in this game as well. So all in all, I felt a lot better after going through the game with him than I did watching the broadcast stream. So a lot to work on moving forward, but also promise from the second round player.